Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to talk about our upcoming full moon in Pisces that is happening on September 10th. And the shadow starts the 5th ish, depends on where you're at GPS location wise. All over the globe, depending on where you're in the world, ends around the 15th ish. So, and that's just assuming a 5 day before or 5 day after. I know some like to work the 3 day before and after. Um, the more strong this energy will hit you, though, it might hit 5 day. Um, I've noticed that a lot. These shadow periods tend to come early for me, depending on which ones there are. So, this will affect anyone with a moon sign in Pisces, especially yours truly. So, this should be very interesting. Luckily, I don't have any Virgo because it's during Virgo season in my chart, so it might not be too bad. Um, but it also kind of works in conjunction with a few other planetary retrogrades that are going on. So we'll get into it. All right, just so you know what you're going to be working with energetically, and we'll go ahead and pull some cards on it as well. I'll do some tea leaf to kind of just assess where to look, where the issues may pop up in somewhere in life, and we'll get some guidance from both the masculine and feminine energy decks, as well as Sojourning Lesson, maybe see what the mermaids have to say, given, that's their element, water, and animal spirit guides, and then either the kitsune or the ancestor spirit, depending on where the reading goes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll also read from the card on the book as well, because I find that sometimes there's little bits and pieces in there that are helpful. So, this moon is also known as the harvest moon due to the close proximity to the autumn equinox and being the last lunation of the summer in the northern hemisphere, anyway. Full moon in Pisces will take you into your emotions, and this energy will be amplified during this time. Your intuition will be heightened, as well as any connection to the divine. It will be easy to fall for what's illusory at this time that comes from ego, so be mindful of that. However, this can also be useful for creative endeavors, so um, just make sure you place that energy where it's most helpful, right? Okay. But not so much for the practical, obviously. But, so if you're doing any creative endeavors, that's actually kind of a good thing to use your illusion, not to quote Guns N' Roses. All right. We can thank the positioning with Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus for this as well. So those are the others to keep an eye on, and as well as their influence on this phase in this particular zodiac. Um, there may be sudden changes of heart and a more optimistic outlook during this time with energies around you. So if you've been struggling with external energies that have been difficult, stubborn, there may be some flipping of the script, so to speak. Just be mindful of that. I know it would be easy to not trust it, so just kind of use your intuition. It's also important to use discernment at this time to determine what is real and permanent and what's idealistic and temporary, okay? So it may be a little misleading, but not on purpose, not for any nefarious reason. This moon in Pisces has great sensitivity and perception of surroundings. You may experience feelings of insecurity, passivity, and a desire to see what happens in life. If you engage in creative or spiritual search, it will be a benefit during this time. Energies with placements in Pisces and Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, star sign, and moon, as well as Virgo, in conjunction especially, will be affected but not limited to. It just depends on the high aspects and where they are in one's timeline as well energetically. Those who are normally apathetic or unemotional at this time will have their emotions heightened. So keep that in mind. We will have an increased awareness of humanity along with all earth energies as a united whole. There is an urge to give service, devote ourselves to something more than our personal journey or material security. Our actions will take on a deeper meaning when we dedicate them to our chosen vision of the greater good. Giving service will remind us that we are all connected and one, and this will be heightened at this time. And I have a feeling it'll be heightened, collectively, so to speak, too, not just individually. Virgo season does influence this energy a bit, but to show a contrast in that polarity, Virgo energy is rooted deeply in the earth, devoted to application of knowledge and finding practical solutions, while Pisces connects us to the bigger picture and unity consciousness. In its shadow form, Pisces energy can manifest as addiction, codependency, and loss of self. The shadow side of Virgo can be a compulsion to micromanage all the details of our lives and those around us, an exhibition of some form of toxic materialism, such as greed or hoarding or self aggrandizing behaviors or other miserly behavior that keeps one disconnected from the greater good. This moon is likely to highlight where we are in control and not in control, and how we can find a healthy balance of the two. With Uranus and Pluto in a semi square, it will challenge us to break out of old patterns. If our tendency is to respond to life passively so that we only ever go with the flow, we may be prompted to take more direct action. If we are, say, in the shadow aspects of Virgo, micromanaging and being controlling, this energy will sit your ass down, so to speak, and have you go with the flow. So it kind of like flips the script a lot, depending on where you started from. Pluto will also assist in going deeper below the surface of things to form more resource finding. So that's also a good thing about it as well. You just got to be mindful at this time. These energies can flip the script in any way, depending on how you start out, right? So, full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, this is a sign that you need to pay more attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on what you want to see the solutions to your issue that may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting in the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Yes, Moonology. Okay, I often have to be reminded of that sometimes. Attune with the moon. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. Additional things, you're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition, it won't let you down. At the worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're thinking of is a soulmate, so whatever your situation is. Avoid substance abuse, that's the very last one. The teaching. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever this card is pulled, I guess you can pull it at any time, it's a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous, love that word, Piscean energies that have no borders, so feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. The Pisces happens to actually be the most intuitive of the astrological calendar, oddly enough. Actually, it's not really that odd. It's pretty obvious. Although I would just go ahead and safe to say. Second to that is the rest of the water signs and air signs. But so tap in, because you never know where it is in your chart, house placement, etc. And you can always strengthen it, even if it's weak in your chart too. So this is a good time to do that if you have that restriction. So let's pull some tea leaf and see what avenues of life we need to be aware of. Or people, places, situations, things, that sort of thing. We'll just get a couple. Please and thank you, Spirit. The collectors are in full moon Pisces. What do we need to look out for? Okay. Alright, let's get The other half stack going. There we go. Spirit. There we go. Get a good amount here. So the first one that came out is flute. Disappointments in a friend or lover. So you could be dealing with a friend or lover. Time to act. Lion came out. Could also be dealing with someone with Lion, Leo, or heavy aspects of Leo in their chart. You also have Camel. Persevere and you will overcome problems. So there may be problems. So I'm going to stick it here. Vine. Seek out information that will help you. Harp. Great happiness. That's all good. And last but not least, Table. Hard work ahead. There we go. All right, so let's see where to go next. Let's go direct to our water element and see what advice from the mermaids we have. Stacks upon stacks here. Get some guidance from the mermaids for our full moon in Pisces. Get a couple cards going here. Where to focus, okay. All right. First card that came out is recognition. So basically, a situation where you're going to be recognized or you need to recognize something, right? Awareness is also in there. So you got your intuition in there. We also have breaking free. Just going to move that over there. Which also talks about cord cutting, maybe just detachment from a circumstance that you're too involved in, right? So it's like if you're being pulled in by extra emotions, then it's time to go within, right? Okay. Let's see, let's get some advice from our boys from masculine energy. Get a couple things. I did do a pre-shuffle, but I'm going to do another. It's a little hard to shuffle, so I didn't do it extra. Oh, oof, okay. All right. Okay. We have Nuwada, who talks about chasing perfection and questioning the cost of doing so. So don't be too anal retentive, I suppose. Okay. And we have Typhon, anger, rage in the reverse, and he talks about getting so angry that it becomes physical, to maybe seek out help. So if that's an issue, just be mindful of that. All right, ladies. Hey, ladies. There you are. See what advice from our ladies with regards to our feminine energies you need to be aware of. Just a couple. One more, darlings. Okay, we got 3 total. All right. We have Chanker, divine feminine, so more self-care practice. Go ahead and stick that there. We have Morrigan, rhythm, so just paying attention to your own rhythms, right? All right, and we have Yamoja. I'm going to stick you right in between. Again, talking about exactly what breaking free here talks about. It's just releasing what no longer serves you in your greatest, highest, most loving good. Possibly doing cord cutting. She does talk about that as well. Or some form. There's many ways to do things. Calling your energy back is another prime example. All right, let's see what the animal spirits have to say. All right, animal spirit guides and advice. I'll get a few. All right. One more. There we go. Wow. That one almost wanted to fly into my tea. All right, we have Cheetah. Get clear on your intention. Stay focused, speaking of which. There we go. And move quickly to achieve your goal. We have Mouse. You're overlooking some important details, so pay closer attention to what's going on. And Manatee, Dugon. Accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. So it's just whatever you're working on, continue just to focus on that if you need to switch gears. These are a few messages, guys. So wherever you're at, okay? All right. So at this time as well, lessons may come up. So we're going to go ahead and see what lessons may come up. And we do need this. All right. That's a good lesson. That's also a good lesson. All right. You got 3? We have love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. We have adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And with that, I'm feeling Kitsune. For advice, we'll get some final advice from the Kitsune realms. This deck is still really stiff. Alright. We'll only do one card, Spirit. So if more than one pops up, I'll get the top one, okay? Thank you. Alright, one came out. I love it. Okay. So we have number 44. 44 might actually be significant for you. I've been seeing 4s a lot lately. Sign of protection. Follow the signs. All right. Let me get to that. This Kitsune girl is creating magical signs out of her holy foxfire. Signs, omens, message for you to follow while you walk your path. She wishes for you to have guidance, and her purpose is to create this fire. When you see this card, you know that the messages and the signs coming to you are to be trusted and are worth following. There is a sense of union, friendship, and trustworthy allies when this card comes, and she acknowledges that you are following the right path, and that your trust in the signs have been coming to you is not misplaced. The sense of following something subtle, strange, and not quite knowable is a tentative path, and a mysterious one, and many have said you are fools for letting such things be your advisors. But this card says that you can grow in confidence and know that the warmth and the light of the sacred fire of the Kitsune is part of the gift that the universe is sending to you. You have found her. She is saying yes, and now it is time for you to tune in, connect, and keep your inner guidance strong and healthy. There is a purity to this process and a passionate energy. Go where the fire of the Kitsune leads you, for it is growing in power, and your intuitive understanding is becoming deeper, clearer, and more luminous with each step. Now, with that said, I think we need to get some signs, don't you? I'll pull from the signs deck so you know which signs to look out for, okay? These are mostly numbers, feathers, colors, and I think I had one more in here too. I'm still adding to this deck as well. Up next is animals. And of course, cheetah, mouse, and manatee, camel, lion, can all very well be signs as well for you. Anywhere in your environment. So let's get a few signs, Spirit. All right, perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. A progression number. Okay. Time to let go of something, potential reminder, belief in self. So when you see this, something you're thinking about doing, whatever, in conjunction to any other signs, will indicate that. Black feather, you are protected. So it doesn't have to be a crow's present like the couple I have here. Protection is available. And the color purple. Spiritual power, wisdom, clairs, psychic ability, intuition, imagination, addictions, divination, consciousness, third eye open, meditation, control, and domination. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little extra and pull a mantra or an affirmation. So, if you want to do this, go ahead and Listen, you're welcome to. You can write this down if you like to. Use it during your time. Good for pre-bed or even waking up. All right, we got two. Nice. First one came out. My thoughts come and go with peace and spaciousness, because I am more aware that I am so much more than my thoughts. I am trusting my inner voice. I am always guided by the pure energy of creation. I choose to listen. I choose to be present. There you go, guys. Happy full moon in Pisces.